highlight the improvements at the Gambia's legislature.
It is no rhetoric. When I was coming to Parliament, the budget support to Parliament was 3 million. It is 17-fold, $54 million as we speak today. This is the highest in sub-Saharan Africa, to increase budget support to Parliament 17-fold. And mark you, it is not on salaries, it is on programs and capacity building. All this is in fact crowned by your huge investment of $27 million for a new National Assembly complex. You may recall, Your Excellency, that our current parliament was the colonial governor's bar. It was a clubhouse for the colonial governor. We had huge problems and challenges when it comes to accommodation. And in fact, my guests would bear me witness. I didn't take them to Parliament up to now because I have nothing to show them.
From the point of view of the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Abdoulaye Bojang, it is the powers vested in the legislature that enables it, just as WAPAC, to ensure that government officials are accounted for the positions they hold.
But what I see is the need for a new Africa to be born. And that is why I had consultations with a number of people. Members of Parliament are direct representatives of the people who cannot be heard by the executive directly. And when we are given the responsibility of overseeing, or in the form of oversight, of people who are responsible of managing resources of people, we believe when we from time to time converge in countries, we need to have an in-depth, and including that is probably getting the chance of meeting the executive.
The WAPAC Banjul meeting aims to refocus efforts towards networking and partnership in key areas so as to advance the quest for the judicious use of public funds. This, according to the WAPAC chairperson, Honorable Edward Dagose of Liberia, has been a building block for improved social programs at the policy and implementation levels.
For the past 3 days, we have discussed the strength and oversight of the PAC committee. PAC is a complement to the executive. Why should we say so? Because they are trying to avoid waste of government resources, government fund. When you have waste, there's no development. Without waste, you have development. Today, that is a major problem in Africa.
The role of WAPAC in fighting corruption and the mismanagement of public funds, just like the PAC and PEC committees of the National Assembly, is further attested to by His Excellency the President, Professor Dr. Ajame. Beautifully gracing the session, the Gambian leader told parliamentarians that there is indeed no excuse for Africa to remain poor in respect of the vast natural resources it is endowed with.
Most important thing is accountability. And in the Gambia, there is no sacred cow. Nobody is beyond the authority of the Public Accounts Committee. So I do hope that you also should do the same. Because of corruption and mismanagement of public funds, it is unfortunate that being African and sub-Saharan is synonymous with abject poverty. It is not meant to be that way. I think if I want to be rich, then I need not be the president of this country. I should go and be a farmer, a fisherman, or be a businessman. Because I don't think any of us will stand before your people seeking the presidency and tell them, oh, I want to be rich, vote for me to be president. They will not vote for you. You tell them that I'm going to do this and that and that and that, and that's a commitment. But sometimes people say, oh, that is politics. That's not politics. Democracy is a contract. If I tell the people to vote for me because I'm going to build bridges for them, after being voted in, I start having mansions in New York, Belgium, Paris, whatever. That's not democracy, because it's a breach of contract, which is an offense in any law.
But the evil in politics and money, the Gambian leader said, have enticed many to siphon money's earmarked for important social programs.
It is very sad. So if you are the president and you want to develop your country, especially here in Africa, you cannot afford the luxury of having sacred cows that can siphon money, public funds, and get away with it. A small country like the Gambia, also as a president, you must live by what you pronounce. From 1994 to date, we made it very clear that we are here for accountability and probity and transparency. We've been setting up commissions. Each time others will say, oh, he's which one thing, he's selecting. I don't select people that face the commissions. The judiciary, the Attorney General's chambers together with the judiciary, and they set up the criteria as to who faces what. So they have terms of reference, and anybody who falls within those terms of reference would have to appear before the commission to give you an account of how you made money. But it is still seen that, oh, it's the president that is witch hunting. Then we thought of the Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly, where everybody has to go. They can call anybody to go and account for the money received from the government for the welfare of the Gambian people.
He proposed the changing of WAPAC to Africa Association of Public Accounts Committee to reflect its growing membership and recognition around the continent. The historic passage of the Gambia's parliament and the birth of many of its most feared committees that have ensured compliance in budgetary spending and management have been highlighted by officials serving in President Jammeh's cabinet.
Since 1994, His Excellency the President has been very consistent on his advocacy for transparency and accountability. And having received you here today is a clear testimony of this commitment from the President and his government.
We in the Gambia pride ourselves with the Public Accounts, Public Enterprises Committee. It provides, it serves as a watchdog to public institutions that are entrusted with responsibilities of delivering public goods and services to our population.
For those of us that have served under His Excellency the President since the advent of the July 22nd revolution that took place here in the Gambia in 1994, can bear witness that His Excellency the President has always been consistent and truthful to his advocacy of African unity.
Parliamentarians will hopefully wrap up their session, taking with them the Gambian story in relation to peace and security. Abdunjai, Grts.
Meanwhile, after successfully completing his dialogue with the people tour, His Excellency the President, Sir Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh, today convened a meeting with cabinet ministers, service chiefs, heads of institutions, and personnel of the Office of the President who took part in the tour. President Jammeh seized the opportunity to thank all those who successfully took part in the tour, while urging people to embrace agriculture by growing what they eat and eating what they grow. Here is an excerpt of the President's statement at the meeting at State House.
Where we are seeing that food is being used as a weapon, it is safer to make sure that you grow your own food. You grow what you eat what you grow. As far as the government is concerned, this is one priority, because even if Gambia were to become the world's leading exporter of petroleum, if nobody is going to sell food to you, I don't think you can also use petroleum to drink it. If you are not careful, there will come a time when people will have the money, and if you depend entirely on imports, you'll have the money and you'll have nothing to buy. It is practically impossible. Because we have seen around the world very strange weather phenomena, natural disasters, flooding, and especially in major agricultural
Mr.